Okay, we continue on to the scope of instance variables. On page 385 talks about shadowing, and basically what we need to do is look at when a variable basically becomes alive and then basically when it dies. So if we take a look at, let me back up here. Need to get to page. So if we take a look at the code right here, let me go to the bank. Yeah, here we go. This will work. So let me go to the account test. There we go. So here we have a method called static void main, and then we basically have the account test. I can actually come right here and I can declare a variable. And this variable is what we call a class global variable. So basically this variable can be used anywhere inside of this class. So it can be used, so if there was multiple methods, it would be available in all of them. So if I try to come down here and let's say I want to say double AMT2, well, I now have two variables with the same name. I'm sorry, let me get the right name. So now I have two variables to write with the same name. So basically, which variable is going to basically display at this point? So let me do this, and I'm going to say sys_o. Okay, so what number is going to basically display? I've got 0 and I've got 1. Well, if I run this, the 1 displays because that's the last one that happened to basically go, the last thing was executed. So we have to be very, very careful doing these types of things. It's called shadowing. This variable here is alive when this method is called and this line is executed, and as soon as it hits this brace right here, that variable dies. This one, on the other hand, is still alive. Okay, so that will work. So if I actually did something like this, I'm not really in a method at that point. Yeah, I'd have to create another method, but just realize when a method it basically becomes alive and when it's dead. Basically, otherwise what we call the scope. Page 36, 37 gets into the import statements. There's a whole lot of different import statements that are out there. So if we kind of take a look at these guys, let me bring up that chapter. So here are all of the different, I shouldn't say all, this is a few of the different packages that are available for us out there. When you basically bring in Eclipse and you bring in that Java SDK, it brings in all of the different APIs that are available to us. And these are just a few. So here's a java.applet, java.awt, IO, language, net, security, SQL, text, util, swing. We've used the J option pane. We've used the one for the keyboard. Now, realize this. If I were to say import java dot asterisk, that is totally legal. But the only problem is it's bringing in everything under the Java. So all of those different little parameters and things that are coming up will basically be brought in. And so actually we'll make our program a little larger. So we always try just to bring in those things we need. So in this case, we've got Java text.decimal format. I could again just say Java text.asterisk. And again, it's the data format's going to be there, but everything else is going to be there as well. So let's just try to bring in the things that we need specifically. Okay, so as we use things, so if I were to do something like this, let's say I did this, and now you'll notice this decimal format has got a red squiggly underline. If I point to it and click on it, it says, hey, you need to import this decimal format. So if we double click on that, it will automatically bring that import statement in. So as we utilize things like the math, there's a math Java API that brings in a whole different categories of the math. So it's pretty smart. It knows what you're doing, so it will try to figure out what you're trying to do. So page 6.9, I don't want to dwell too long on this, but it kind of gets into you've been given the direction of creating a program, and you're going to take written text and try to convert it into programming language. So what they have is they've got this paragraph that says, okay, you're to write this program, and it says Joe's Automotive Shop services foreign cars and specializes in servicing cars made by Mercedes, Porsche, and BMW. When a customer brings a car to the shop, the manager gets the customer's name, address, and telephone number. Then the manager determines the make, model, and year of the car and gives the customer a service quote. The service quote shows the estimated parts charges, the estimated labor charges, the sales tax, and total estimated charges. So the very first thing you do is take that paragraph and try to break out all of the nouns and basically get rid of any duplication. So here we've got address, foreign cars, Porsche, BMW, Joe's Automotive Shop, sales tax, car, make, service quote, cars, manager, shop, customer, Mercedes, telephone number, estimated labor charges, model, total estimated charges, estimated parts charges, names, year. So we pull all those nouns out, and then we need to kind of figure out, says we can settle on a single class for each one of these guys. So in this case, we've got foreign cars, Joe's Automotive Shop. Well, it says Joe's Automotive Shop, both these refer to the company, so we don't want those. So we leave that, but we've got foreign cars and car and cars. Well, those can all go down to one. We've just got car. So some nouns might be represented items we do not need or be concerned with. So in this case, foreign cars, Joe's Automotive Shop, cars, manager, and shop. Those are all things we don't need to worry about for our program. It says some of the nouns might represent objects, not classes. Again, that would be Mercedes, Porsche, BMW. Those are things that represent something else, a car. So we can get rid of those as well. So as you can see, we're trying to narrow this list down. So then it says some of the nouns might represent single values that can be stored in a primitive value and do not require a class. So there we have an address. We have sales tax, make, managers, estimated labor charges, estimated parts charges, year, total estimated charges, telephone number. Those are all things that we can put into a primitive. Okay, like a double or an int, that type of thing. So now we go through and figure out, okay, what classes can we make out of these things? Well, number one, we're going to have a customer. We're going to have a car. And it looks like we're going to have a service quote. So right now we got it down to car and service quote, but we are going to need a customer because that's the person coming in. So we're going to create a customer class. So there we're going with the customer, we're going to have customer name, customer address, customer phone number. So here's the UML document for that. So we create this nice little square. we've got customer, that's the name of the class. Here's our 3 instance variables, and here is our constructor, and here are our getters and setters. Then we got a car class, and here's the UML for that. There's the name of our class, there's our 3 instance variables, and there's our constructor, and there's our getters and setters. Okay. We're going to have a service quote class. And there we basically have the name, there's the 2 instance variables, there is the constructor, and there is all the getters and setters. So what we need to do then is actually then write the code and then put, so in this case here's get total charges. So notice that is a method that's not a getter or setter. It's not do anything with these 2 charges up here. Get sales tax, that's another one. Get labor charges, that's a getter. Get parts charges, that's a getter as well. So these 2 are going to be 2 new methods that are going to be created to just calculate sales tax and then get total charges. So you think to get total charges is going to do? Well, it's going to get parts charges, labor charges, taxes, and add them all together into one major charge. Sales tax is going to do some type of percentage of the parts. We can't charge tax on labor, so it's going to do just the tax on the parts. And when all said and done, we now have a total charge. If we go back to the car, there we have get year, model, and make. So we just pretty much have getters and setters there. There's no extraneous methods we have to basically rely on. Customer class, again, no extra methods that we need to basically do there. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a break here, and then we will go ahead and come back and we will go ahead and write those 3 classes. Or I should say I will, you'll just be watching. So